Welcome to NEDA Talks. My name is Salvador Pina. I'm the chair of the Education Committee for the Northeast Economic Development Association, and I am here today with Jason Helsel. How you doing, Jason?
Doing well, thank you. Good to be here.
Jason is from EMSI, and
Yes.
so we're here to talk a little bit about what EMSI does and what you do. So maybe you can just start for us by helping us to understand sort of the vision and mission of EMSI.
Sure. No, that's great. EMSI was founded about 15 years ago, and by two economists who were really interested in the idea of driving regional economic prosperity. It's something they were very passionate about, and they wanted to start a company that was going to sort of live out that vision. Over the years, that's sort of transformed, and we believe really at the core of that mission, that driving regional prosperity it starts with a skilled workforce who can contribute and work towards that. So that's something that we're very passionate about empowering at EMSI.
Mm-hmm.
So
great, that's great. So tell me about some of the value-added services that EMSI provides that would help workforce and economic development professionals.
Sure. Yeah, we've over the years we got our start working as a consulting firm. We started out in higher education, and we've expanded into workforce and economic development as well. And we've since branched out to offer a lot of different tools and different ways to access and use the data for strategic planning. In terms of workforce and economic development, we do all of that in the context of having consultants and experts to back that up, because really what we want to see is our clients become the experts in a region. So really everything that we do is building towards that kind of educational piece of labor market analysis.
Okay, so more specifically, your organization works a lot with data and mines data and works with folks to get data into the decision-making process, right? So,
absolutely.
So tell me why that's important.
That's a great question, and I'm a little biased working for a data company, but that is a fantastic question, and there's been so much already at the conference kind of on this very point. Everyone has a story to tell about their community, and that's fantastic. We just think that if you're not using data to back that up, you're really kind of building your house on the sand, and sooner or later that's going to catch up to you. Having data really is a way of mitigating that risk. And instead of, it takes out the guesswork. Instead of just working off of these random anecdotes, you really have a way to get peace of mind from that. Using data, it's going to make your job a lot easier and sort of combat indecision or any of those things. It'll help you know exactly where to be focused. There's only so much time, so you have to be careful. A lot of decisions to be made out there, and these decisions have huge impacts for a community, right? So we want to make sure it shows a sense of responsibility, honestly, when you're backing up your actions with data.
Can you give me just a quick example of some data that you worked with that you thought had a major impact on a decision that with a community or a client that you worked with? Yeah,
that's in economic development, there are plenty of examples of this. And that's part of what's so exciting about this, is you see these huge changes. We worked with some clients. They found out that they were about to lose a major manufacturer, and no one took it really. No one was really taking it seriously, but they ran the numbers on it, did some impact analysis, and realized that this was going to be a huge loss for the community in terms of the jobs, the earnings added in the area, and it was really kind of a close, a near miss that way. Once they realized what kind of a loss that they were talking about in their community, that then enabled them to put together incentive packages for the company to stay, and they were able to retain that, and that was a win for the community.
Great, fantastic. So now you've used the term impact analysis, and I know we talked earlier about EMSI providing impact studies for example, to recruit businesses. Right. So help me understand what an impact study really is, and why should communities be using impact studies?
Right. Really, what what an impact study is going to help you do is it's sort of a very detailed what-if scenario. You can run these at all different levels, but at its core, it's going to tell you what kind of a splash are we talking about here? What kind of ripple effects? How can we get the biggest bang for our buck? Really. We want to attract businesses that are going to bring a lot of jobs, not just in that business, but also in supporting industries so that we can grow that tax base. We want these to be good jobs that are going to pay more money, so there are more dollars being spent within a region. So it goes both ways. I mean, that you want to attract the businesses that are going to make the biggest splash. And you also want to retain those, like that story I just shared with you. You want to make sure if that's vital to your community, you need to keep them around.
Right. So some of the elements I'm hearing you talk about, some of the elements in an impact study might be wages that get paid to folks, the number of jobs that get created. What are some of the more unique things that we wouldn't normally think of that are involved?
I mean, it depends. You can go as detailed as you want to, but there's all kinds of things down to we can do certain tax analysis. I mean, in manufacturing, there are things as specific as there may be a tool tax. Very detailed niche things, but all things that are part of the equation as you're putting these incentive packages together and analyzing who to go after. Like I said, we just want to bring clarity there. We want to make sure that people are going after the right industry clusters, the right businesses, the best jobs possible.
Fantastic. Okay. So we've talked about recruiting businesses. We've talked a little bit about business retention. What might be some of the things that you'd see in business expansion?
In terms of business expansion, oftentimes there will be a lot of opportunity. It's not something that maybe is talked about. It's not maybe doesn't have the same appeal and excitement level as attracting new business to the area. But a lot of times there will be a lot of opportunity to develop current businesses. When you look at the supply chain overall, you can see that maybe you're relying and spending a lot of dollars outside the region that you could be spending locally. There's a lot of opportunity when you open up the supply chain and look at it that way. This could be a great opportunity to add a lot of jobs and a lot of dollars back into the region.
Well, you know, I will tell you this, that the data supports business retention strategies a lot more, I think, than people realize, because 70% of all the jobs that get created from existing businesses.
Right.
So when the focus is heavily on business recruitment, that's only about 10% of the jobs. So startups make up the remaining 20. So I think a lot of your focus is really important, focusing on expansion. So I think next question is really important for folks. Tell us a little bit about the role that data plays in the political process. Because I know oftentimes when we're creating job opportunities or putting tax incentives together, we've got to deal with the politics side of it. Right.
No, this is a big one. As someone said earlier, with a lot of these business traction cases, the politics can be very thick. And having data is a good way to cut through that, especially if this decision isn't something that's particularly popular. As you're trying to win over the hearts and the minds of educated taxpayers, data is going to be a really key component of that. Maybe it doesn't seem like the most glamorous thing to have that manufacturing or industrial park in your backyard, but maybe that's exactly what the area needs. Maybe that's what you're good at. You're going to need hard data to support that if you're going to win people over.
Great. Well, you know, Jason, it's been excellent getting an insight into EMSI and what EMSI does. Appreciate you taking the time here. Could you just let our audience know how they might get in touch with you if they wanted to follow up on any of these points?
We always open to talking data. You can reach me at Helsel, that's JHELSEL, at economicmodeling.com if you have any questions, or there's also always our website, economicmodeling.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you all for tuning in to NEDA Talks, and we'll get you the next time.